Picture this. You're on a date at your favorite coffee shop in Austin, sipping your caramel latte as the barista calls your name over the hum of chatter. Her eyes light up, like you're the answer she's been searching for. But wait. Pause. Something's off. She's not seeing you. She's dreaming up a fantasy that could leave you a stranger to yourself. Carl Jung, a mind-bending genius who spent his life unraveling the human soul, uncovered a dark secret. Both men and women trap each other in illusions, casting each other as characters in stories that aren't our own. Have you ever felt lost in someone else's dream, like you're playing a role you didn't sign up for? That's where we're headed today, a journey into Jung's hidden truth that could change everything you thought you knew about love, identity, and freedom. Imagine Jake, a 32-year-old guy from Denver, who thought he'd found the one when his girlfriend gushed about his potential, until he realized she was in love with a version of him that didn't exist. He bent over backwards to fit her vision, only to end up exhausted and empty when she walked away. Sound familiar? Jung called this the animus, the inner masculine image women carry, and the anima, the feminine image men chase. When these go unchecked, they turn our relationships into a stage, and we're the actors, not the authors of our lives. But here's the good news. Jung didn't just expose the trap. He showed us a way out. This video isn't about pointing fingers, it's about waking up. You'll dive into how these projections work, walk with real people like Jake who broke free, and get practical steps to start living as you, not someone else's fantasy. You'll uncover freedom, self-worth, and a life beyond the mask, but only if you're ready to face some uncomfortable truths. So, grab a coffee, settle in, and let's peel back the layers of this psychological thriller together, because the real you is waiting, and it's time to meet them. Stick with me, and by the end, you'll ask yourself, what story have I been living? And whose is it really? Let's set the scene. It's Friday night in Chicago, and a couple's fight at a trendy rooftop bar is about to explode. String lights flicker as he yells, "Why can't you see me?" She snaps, "You're not who I dreamed." The tension crackles, drinks tremble on the table, and it's clear they're not arguing about who forgot to take out the trash. They're trapped in roles they never chose. Carl Jung saw this coming a mile away, a mind-bending genius who spent his life diving into the unconscious, that shadowy part of us running the show without us knowing. He uncovered something wild. We don't always fall in love with people. Sometimes we fall for ideas of them, fantasies we project like a blockbuster movie onto a blank screen. Jung called this projection, and it's a trap we all stumble into, men and women alike. Here's how it works. Every woman carries an inner masculine image, the animus, a blueprint of her perfect man shaped by childhood dreams or those Netflix rom-com leading men. Every man has an anima, his inner feminine, the perfect woman he's chased since his first Disney princess. Like when I thought my ex was my muse, only to realize she was just surviving her 9-to-5. These images aren't evil, they're human, but when we ignore them, they take over. Now picture this. It's a sunny afternoon at a buddy's BBQ in Atlanta, beers in hand, laughter filling the air until his girlfriend nudges him to man up. In front of everyone, his smile fades, and you see it, the trap tightening as he's forced into her hero role. Just like that Chicago couple, a woman might see a guy from Ohio, late on rent, and think, he's my protector. A man might see a stressed-out coworker and think, she's my savior. We're not seeing each other. We're projecting Hollywood versions, those hashtag relationship goals we've been sold since we were kids, and that's where it gets messy. When you project your animus or anima, you're not loving them, you're loving a role you've scripted, like handing them a part, be my knight, be my goddess. But people aren't actors, they're messy, flawed, real. When he forgets to be her hero, or she stops playing his muse, the fantasy cracks, resentment ignites, heartbreak stabs deep. Ever felt the shame of failing a script you never read? Like you're drowning in someone else's expectations? That's the projection trap, where you think you're loved for you, but you're just a role you didn't know you were playing. Jung didn't stop there, he laid bare the consequences. Living in projections, we stop seeing each other as we are, becoming strangers even to those we love. Worse, we lose ourselves, You might spend years being her perfect guy, working overtime, saying yes when you mean no just to keep her smile. Or she might twist into your dream girl, hiding her tears, pretending she's fine when she's not. It's exhausting when the fantasy breaks when you can't perform. Or she sees you're not her prince. It's not just pain. It's a quiet despair, a sinking feeling you've lost yourself forever, wondering if you'll ever find your way back. Jung would say, nothing's wrong, you just stopped fitting the illusion. But here's the deeper truth he wanted us to face. This isn't just romance. Projections seep into every corner of our lives. Maybe you're the funny friend, cracking jokes to mask your stress, but inside, you're crumbling, resenting how they never ask if you're okay, because you've let them project the always happy role onto you. Or you're the perfect employee, saying yes to burnout, molding yourself into the boss's ideal, only to feel invisible when your real self begs for a break. We're all playing roles, chasing illusions, terrified of being seen as we are, flaws and all. Jung called this when projections take over your life, where they hijack our lives, turning us into actors in someone else's play. What if the person you're projecting onto isn't even the one you're really chasing? What if it's the version of yourself you've been too scared to become? That's the twist that hits hardest, the scariest part. Most of us don't even realize it's happening. But Jung saw a way out, a chance to reclaim our story, and that's where we're headed next. Now, let's step out of that Chicago rooftop chaos and into the life of Sam, a 35-year-old teacher from Chicago. Yes, the same city where that bar fight unfolded. Sam's story starts in a quiet apartment, the kind with mismatched furniture, and a guitar collecting dust in the corner. For years, he was trapped in the projection trap we talked about, the one where you're not loved for you, but for a role someone else wrote. His ex-girlfriend, Lisa, a perfectionist with a laugh that once lit up his world, saw him as her perfect partner, the guy who'd work late grading papers, skip his guitar jams, and always say yes to her plans, even when he was exhausted. He thought he was building a life with her, but he was really molding himself into her dream, her steady, dependable hero. The tension built like a storm brewing, and one rainy night, she walked out, leaving him with a note that said, "You're not the man I need." The silence hit him like a punch. His apartment felt empty, his guitar untouched, and his heart shattered. That's when the despair sank in, that quiet, sinking feeling we talked about, where you wonder if you've lost yourself forever. But Sam didn't stay down. One sleepless night, scrolling through old journals, he stumbled on a word: individuation, something Carl Jung wrote about, the process of becoming whole by facing your own shadows. It was like a lifeline thrown into his storm. He realized Lisa's projection wasn't the only trap he'd been projecting to, chasing her as his perfect muse, ignoring his own dreams. The weight of it crushed him at first, a raw anger bubbling up as he thought, why did I let this happen? Then came a breaking point. One night, he smashed a chair in frustration, tears streaming before grabbing that dusty guitar and turning his rage into a chord that shook the silence. The first raw sound of the real Sam. He journaled every night, scribbling about the parts of himself he'd buried, like the fear of being alone, but also a stab of guilt for letting his dreams slip away, as if he'd betrayed the kid who once dreamed of music. One evening, a friend called him out at a bar. "You've changed, man." And Sam walked away, heart pounding, realizing he didn't need their approval anymore. With each step, he felt a crack in the illusion, a glimpse of who he could be. Fast forward 6 months, Sam's at a park in Chicago, strumming his guitar under a big oak tree, surrounded by friends who actually ask how he's doing, not just what he can do for them. He even told his colleagues no to extra work, reclaiming time for himself, something the old perfect employee Sam would have never dared. He's not the perfect partner anymore, but he's something better. He's Sam, feeling a wild, carefree joy he hadn't known since childhood. The change didn't come easy. There were nights he cried, days he doubted, moments he almost called Lisa to beg her back, but he stuck with it, facing his insecurities head on, learning to say no, reconnecting with the guy who loved music over approval. Jung would call this individuation in action, breaking free from the roles we're cast in, reclaiming our own story. Sam's friends noticed at first his eyes brighter, his spirit lighter. Even Lisa, when they crossed paths, seemed unsettled, like she couldn't place this new Sam who didn't bend to fit her fantasy. It wasn't revenge. It was freedom. Here's where it gets real for you. Sam's journey mirrors that barbecue moment from before. Remember, the guy nudged a man up. That could have been Sam once, playing the hero for someone else's script. But now, he's proof that the projection trap can be escaped. Jung taught that individuation isn't glamorous, it's brutal. A lone walk through your own darkness. For Sam, it meant letting go of the need to be chosen, embracing the solitude of being himself. And that's the twist. The more he stood alone, the more he attracted people who saw him, not a role. His new girlfriend, a writer with a quiet smirk who loved his quirks, doesn't want a hero, she wants Sam, guitar and all, flaws included. It's not a fairy tale, it's raw, real connection. Free from the Hollywood projections we've been chasing. But let's be honest, this isn't just Sam's story, it's yours too. Think about that funny friend role we talked about, or the burnout from being the perfect employee. Maybe you've been projecting a muse or a protector onto someone, losing pieces of yourself along the way. Sam's breakthrough came when he asked, "What if I've been chasing the version of myself I'm too scared to be?" For him, it was realizing he'd buried his love for music. Now he's chasing that scared, creative kid he used to be. That question changed everything for him, and it can for you. This isn't about blaming others, it's about waking up to the roles you've played, the illusions you've bought into. Jung saw individuation as a path to wholeness, where you stop being an actor and start authoring your life. Sam's not done yet, there's more shadow to face, but he's on his way. And that's the hope we're carrying into the next step, practical ways to break free, just like he did. So, stay with me, this story's about to get personal. Now, it's your turn to step out of the shadows, because Sam's story from the park in Chicago isn't just inspiration, it's a call to action. We've unraveled the projection trap, those roles like the perfect partner or funny friend we've been trapped in, and watched Sam break free with individuation. That brutal yet beautiful path Jung laid out. The stakes are high. If you stay stuck, you risk losing yourself to someone else's script, like that stormy night Sam faced. But here's the thrill, you can start reclaiming your story today with a 7-day self-discovery challenge. These steps aren't fluffy promises, they're your battle plan to face your own shadows and step into the real you. Let's dive in. First, grab a notebook and journal daily for 7 days. Spend 5 minutes writing about a time you change. D for someone else. Maybe you skipped guitar jams like Sam, or said yes to extra work when you were burned out as the perfect employee. Dig deep, ask, what did I lose? Maybe you lost your sense of adventure, like when you stopped hiking to be the responsible friend. The first night might feel like staring into a dark mirror, your pen shaking as you admit the joy you buried. That's the intensity. Jung called it confronting the shadow, and it stings, but it's where freedom begins. Sam started here, scribbling his fears, and you can too. Second, face one fear this week. Do something you've avoided because you feared judgment. Maybe it's saying no to a friend's demand, like Sam did at that bar, or finally telling your boss you're overwhelmed. Imagine standing in your boss's office, voice trembling. As you say you're overwhelmed, the air feels thick, but you've just lit the fire of breaking free. Third, reflect each night. Take 2 minutes to ask, did I live as me today? No judgment, just honesty. Sam found his wild, carefree joy by checking in like this, noticing small wins like laughing without forcing it, instead of the heavy guilt he used to feel for faking it. And you might too. Maybe resting instead of performing. These steps aren't easy. Sam's chair-smashing rage showed how hard it gets, but they work. Picture this, a week from now, you're at a coffee shop in your town, sipping your favorite brew, feeling a spark of that joy Sam rediscovered. Maybe you've said no to a draining request, or picked up a hobby you'd shelved, like his guitar. That's not a dream, that's you authoring your life, not playing a role. Jung warned that staying in projections leads to self-betrayal, but individuation turns you into the author, not the puppet. Sam's new girlfriend, that writer with a quiet smirk, didn't fall for a hero, she chose the real Sam. And that's the connection you can build when you stop chasing illusions. Here's the truth that hits hard. This isn't just about relationships. Remember that BBQ guy nudged a man up or the funny friend masking stress? Apply these steps to work. Say no to burnout or friendships. Drop the forced laughs. Sam did it, telling his colleagues no to extra tasks, and you can too. Or try it at your next BBQ. Say no to grilling all night when you're tired. Like that guy nudged a man up. The challenge might feel lonely, like Sam's walk through his darkness, but that solitude is where you find strength. The twist: the more you live as yourself, the more you attract people who see you're real, not a projection. Think of Sam's open mic night, where his true self shone, drawing in those who valued him, not a role. So don't wait. Start tonight. Grab that notebook, face that fear, reflect on your day. It's not glamorous, but it's your path to wholeness, just like Sam's. Jung's legacy is this: you don't need to be chosen, you choose yourself. And that choice ripples out, turning your life into a story worth living. Imagine feeling that spark of joy like Sam under that oak tree, knowing you're finally free to be you. We're almost there. Next, we'll wrap this journey with a final push to keep you going. Stay with me, this is your moment. Let's bring this journey full circle. From that explosive rooftop fight in Chicago to the spark of joy you can ignite today. We've walked 3 powerful paths together. The trap, where we uncovered the projection trap, those roles like the perfect partner or funny friend that trap us in fantasies, leaving us strangers to ourselves, like the BBQ guy nudged a man up. The transformation, where Sam faced that stormy night of heartbreak, smashed a chair in rage, but found his way back, strumming his guitar under that oak tree, feeling a wild, carefree joy he hadn't known since childhood. Even saying no to extra work. And the takeaway: the 7-day self-discovery challenge to reclaim your story, journaling to face your shadows, confronting fears like telling your boss you're overwhelmed, and reflecting nightly to live as you. This isn't just a video, it's our shared journey. We've all felt the sting of projections, the guilt of hiding who we are, and the longing to break free. I've been right here with you, reflecting on my own roles, and I'm starting this challenge tonight. Will you join me? Imagine a week from now, feeling that spark of joy like Sam under that oak tree. Pause, knowing you're finally free to be you. That's the power of choosing yourself, as Jung taught us. And it ripples out, transforming your life. So, let's make this real. Start the 7-day challenge today with write, fight, reflect. Drop a comment below. Which step are you starting with? Writing, facing a fear, or reflecting? I'll read every one, because your story matters to me, just like Sam's did. Hit that like button, it's our way of saying we're in this together. Subscribe and ring the bell, we've got more transformative stories coming, and I want you with me every step. Don't wait, start tonight. Share your journey, and let's keep this fire of freedom burning. We're on this path together, and I can't wait to see the real you shine. Write, fight, reflect, this is your moment, because the real you is the story worth telling.